My wife posted the photo at 35,000 feet, sunset over the Caribbean. Her and her best friend Rachel, cocktails raised. Caption, "Girls Trip Magic, Palm Tree." I was sitting in our kitchen in Minneapolis, scrolling through Instagram while eating leftover Chinese food when I saw it. Beautiful photo, perfect smiles, tropical paradise. Except for one small problem. In the bottom right corner, reflected in Rachel's sunglasses, was a man's hand resting on my wife's shoulder. I zoomed in. Gold watch, masculine fingers, definitely not Rachel's hand. I sat there, chopsticks frozen halfway to my mouth, staring at that reflection like it was a bomb that hadn't gone off yet. Then I did something I'm not proud of. I went through every photo she'd posted from the trip. Beach selfie from day one, blurry figure in the background, male, not hotel staff, wearing swim trunks and a polo. Dinner photo from day two, 2 wine glasses in focus, 2 more blurred in the background, 4 people at a table for 2. Pool photo from day 3, her beach bag open on the lounger. Inside it, visible if you zoomed in, a men's watch, same gold one from the reflection. My hands started shaking. I opened her location sharing. We'd always kept it on, for safety. She was at the Royalton Resort in Punta Cana. I opened the booking confirmation in her email. I still had access from when we shared an iPad. Room 847, Ocean View King Suite. King, not 2 queens. I looked at the clock. Her flight landed in 4 hours. I had a choice to make. I could wait, confront her, hear her explanation. Maybe there was some reasonable answer I wasn't seeing. Or I could do what my gut was screaming at me to do. I opened my contacts, scrolled to Richard, her father, the man who'd walked her down the aisle 3 years ago, the retired Marine who'd looked me in the eye at our wedding and said, "You hurt her, you answer to me." I attached all 4 photos, typed one sentence. "I think you should see these before she lands." My thumb hovered over send. If you want to know what happened when a father saw proof his daughter was cheating 4 hours before she came home to lie about it, hit subscribe, because what Richard did next made her wish she'd never posted that photo. My name is Tyler Morrison. I'm 34 years old and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a software engineer at a mid-sized tech company. I work from home 3 days a week, go into the office 2 days, and live what most people would call a pretty normal life. My wife, Kelsey, is 32. She works in pharmaceutical sales, the kind of job with quotas, conferences, and a lot of travel. We met at a friend's wedding. She was the maid of honor, I was a groomsman. We danced, exchanged numbers, and 3 months later, we were inseparable. We got married in 2021. Small ceremony, close friends and family, a honeymoon in Costa Rica that we both agreed was the best week of our lives.
For 3 years, I thought we were solid. We had our routines, Sunday morning pancakes, Wednesday night trivia at the brewery down the street, monthly date nights where we'd try a new restaurant and pretend we were food critics. We talked about kids. Not yet, but someday. We talked about buying a bigger house, saving for retirement, growing old together. I thought we were on the same page. Turns out, she was reading a different book. The girls' trip was Kelsey's idea. She'd been talking about it for months. Her best friend Rachel was going through a rough breakup, and Kelsey wanted to cheer her up. Just 4 days, she said. Punta Cana, beach, drinks, no responsibilities. Rachel really needs this. Sounds great, I said. You should go. You're sure? I know it's expensive. Babe, you work hard. You deserve a break. She kissed me. You're the best. I helped her pack. Sundresses, swimsuits, sunscreen. She was excited in a way I hadn't seen in months. I'm gonna miss you, she said at the airport. I'll miss you too. Have fun. Be safe. I will. I love you. Love you too. I watched her walk through security, pulling her pink suitcase, ponytail swinging. I drove home feeling good, happy that she was happy. That feeling lasted exactly 4 days. The first photo came through on day 2. Kelsey and Rachel on the beach. Sunset, drinks, big smiles. Caption, needed this. I liked it, commented, beautiful, miss you, heart. She hearted my comment. Day 3, another post. Poolside, same vibe. Caption, living our best lives, dancer. I commented again. She didn't respond, but I figured she was busy, having fun. That's what vacations are for. Day 4, the photo that changed everything. Sunset, cocktails, her and Rachel. Caption, girls trip magic, palm tree. I was scrolling through Instagram mindlessly, fork in one hand, phone in the other. Then I saw it. The reflection in Rachel's sunglasses. A man's hand, gold watch, resting on Kelsey's shoulder. I set my fork down, zoomed in. The hand was clear, masculine, definitely not Rachel's. I stared at that photo for a full minute, my brain trying to make it make sense. Maybe it was a waiter. Maybe someone photobombed them. Maybe I was seeing things. But my gut knew something was wrong. I went back through her Instagram, every photo from the trip. Day 1, beach selfie. In the background, blurred but visible, a man in swim trunks and a polo. Not hotel staff, too casual. Not a random tourist, too close. Day 2, dinner photo. 2 wine glasses in focus, 2 more blurred in the background. The table was set for 4, not 2. Day 3, pool lounger. Her beach bag open. Inside, if you zoomed in, a men's gold watch. Same one from the reflection. I screenshotted everything. Then I did something I'd never done before. I opened her email. We shared an iPad. She'd logged into her email years ago and never logged out. I'd never looked, never had a reason to. Until now. I searched Punta Cana. The booking confirmation came up immediately. Royalton Resort, 4 nights, room 847, Ocean View King Suite. King, not 2 queens, 1 king bed.
My chest tightened. I kept scrolling. Another email. Same booking site, same dates. Room 849, also a king. 2 rooms, right next to each other. I sat back, staring at the screen. 4 people, 2 couples. Kelsey and Rachel weren't on a girls' trip. They were on a couples' trip, and I wasn't invited. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in our bed, the one we'd picked out together at IKEA, the one where we'd had lazy Sunday mornings and late-night conversations, and stared at the ceiling. My mind raced through every possibility. Maybe Rachel brought a guy and didn't tell anyone. Maybe it was innocent. But the watch, the hand, the king bed. I pulled up the photo again, stared at that reflection until my eyes burned. Then I opened her location sharing. We'd always kept it on, for safety, she'd said when we first started dating, so we always know the other person is okay. I'd never checked it, never had a reason to. Until now. The little blue dot was in Punta Cana, at the Royalton Resort. I zoomed in. The dot wasn't moving. It had been in the same spot for hours. Room 847. I checked the time. 2:47 a.m. in Minneapolis, 3:47 a.m. in Punta Cana. She was asleep, in a king bed, with someone who wasn't me. I got up, paced the house, made coffee at 3 a.m. because sleep wasn't happening. I pulled up the photos again, looked at every detail. The man in the background of the beach photo. I zoomed in as far as the resolution would allow. Tall, dark hair, fit, polo shirt, expensive sunglasses. I didn't recognize him, but I recognized the watch. I'd seen it before, not in person, in a photo. I opened Facebook, went to Kelsey's profile, scrolled back through her tagged photos. There, 6 months ago, a work conference in Chicago. Group photo, Kelsey's sales team, 8 people. Back row, 3rd from the left. Same guy, same watch, same smile. Tagged Brandon Mitchell. I clicked his profile. Pharmaceutical sales, same company as Kelsey, based in Denver. Relationship status, single. I went back through his photos. Gym selfies, hiking photos, cocktails with coworkers. And there, buried in a post from 3 months ago, a group dinner. Kelsey was in the background, laughing. Brandon's caption, best team in the business. Kelsey had liked it. So had Rachel. I sat back, pieces clicking into place. This wasn't a random thing. This wasn't a mistake. This was planned. I should have waited, should have confronted her, heard her side. But I couldn't, because in 4 hours she was going to walk through that door and lie to my face. She was going to hug me, tell me she missed me, show me photos of her girls' trip. She was going to smile and kiss me and pretend everything was fine. And if I let her do that, if I let her lie to me one more time, I didn't know if I'd ever be able to look at myself in the mirror again. So I made a choice. I opened my contacts, scrolled to Richard.
Richard Palmer, Kelsey's father. Retired Marine, 62 years old, the kind of man who still does push-ups every morning and drinks his coffee black. He'd walked Kelsey down the aisle at our wedding, shook my hand, looked me in the eye. "You hurt her, you answer to me," he'd said. Not a threat, a promise. I'd respected him ever since. Now I was about to test that respect. I attached all 4 photos, the sunset shot with the reflection, the beach photo with the man in the background, the dinner photo with 4 glasses, the pool photo with the watch. Then I typed one sentence. "I think you should see these before she lands." My thumb hovered over send. This was it, the point of no return. Once I sent this, there was no taking it back. Richard would see, he'd know, and whatever happened next would be out of my control. I thought about Kelsey, about the woman I'd married, the woman I'd loved, the woman who was currently in a hotel room with another man. I pressed send. The message delivered. I set the phone down and waited. Richard called 6 minutes later. I was still sitting at the kitchen table, staring at my phone when it rang. His name lit up the screen. I answered. "Hello?" "Tyler." His voice was tight, controlled. "Are these real?" "Yes, sir." Silence. Then, "Where is she right now?" "Her flight lands at 3 p.m. She'll be home by 4:30. "And she doesn't know you know?" "No, sir." Another pause. I could hear him breathing, steady, measured. "I'm coming over," he said. "I'll be there at 4. "Richard, you don't have to." "Yes, I do." The line went dead. I sat there, phone in hand, and realized what I'd just set in motion. I didn't hear from Kelsey all morning. No texts, no calls, nothing. Her location showed her at the airport in Punta Cana, then 2 hours later in the air. I tracked the flight, on time, landing at 3:07 p.m. At 2 p.m. I got a text from Richard, "On my way." At 3 p.m. Kelsey's plane landed. At 3:45 her location started moving. She was in an Uber heading home. At 3:52 Richard's truck pulled into our driveway. He got out. Jeans, flannel shirt, work boots. His face was stone. He walked up to the door. I opened it before he could knock. "Tyler." "Richard." We stood there for a moment. Then he stepped inside. "She know I'm here?" "No." He nodded, looked around the living room, the photos on the wall, the wedding picture on the mantel. "You got coffee?" "Yeah." We poured 2 cups. Sat at the kitchen table. Neither of us spoke. We just waited. At 4:23 p.m., I got a text from Kelsey. "Just landed, grabbing my bag, be home soon, heart." I didn't respond. Richard saw my face. "That her?" "Yeah." He took a sip of coffee, set the mug down. "You ready for this?" I don't know. You did the right thing, he said, calling me. Did I? Yeah, he looked at me. Because if you'd confronted her alone, she would have lied, she would have cried, she would have made you feel like you were crazy. He tapped the table. This way, she can't. I heard a car pull up outside. Richard heard it too. We both stood. The front door opened. Tyler, I'm home. Kelsey's voice, bright, happy. She walked into the kitchen, pulling her pink suitcase, ponytail swinging. She saw me, smiled. Then she saw her father. The smile died. Dad? Richard didn't say anything. Kelsey looked at me, then back at him. What's going on? I pulled out my phone, opened the photos, slid it across the table. You tell me. She looked at the screen. I watched the color drain from her face. Tyler, Don't, Richard said. His voice was quiet, but it cut like a blade. Kelsey's eyes filled with tears. Dad, please, it's not... Not what? Richard's voice didn't rise, didn't waver. Not what it looks like? She opened her mouth, closed it. Because it looks like you went on a trip with another man. It looks like you lied to your husband. It looks like you posted photos to make him think you were with Rachel when you were actually with someone else. Is that not what happened? Silence. Kelsey looked at me, tears streaming down her face. Tyler, please, let me explain. Explain what? I asked. My voice was calm, too calm. Explain the hand on your shoulder? Explain the king bed? Explain Brandon? She flinched at his name. You know who he is, not a question. She nodded, barely. How long? Tyler. How long, Kelsey? Her voice broke. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. While I was making her pancakes on Sunday mornings, while we were playing trivia on Wednesday nights, while I was talking about buying a house and having kids, she was with him. Richard stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the street. I raised you better than this, he said. Not to me, to her. Kelsey sobbed. Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen. You didn't mean for it to happen? Richard turned. You booked a trip. You lied about who you were with. You posted photos to cover your tracks. That's not something that happens. That's something you plan. She had no answer. Richard looked at me. What do you want to do? I looked at Kelsey, at the woman I'd married, the woman I'd loved, the woman who just spent 4 days in paradise with another man. I want her to leave, I said. Kelsey's head snapped up. Tyler, no, please, we can fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. Tyler, pack a bag, I said. Stay with your parents. Stay with Rachel. Stay with Brandon for all I care, but you're not staying here. She looked at Richard. Dad, please. You heard him, Richard said. Pack a bag. She went upstairs. Richard and I stood there in the kitchen, listening to drawers open and close. You okay? He asked. No, I said, but I will be. He nodded. You need anything, you call me. Thank you. I mean it. Lawyer, moving help, someone to drink with, you call. I will. Kelsey came back down, suitcase in hand, eyes red. She looked at me one more time. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. She looked at her father. Dad! Go, he said. She left. The door closed behind her. Richard and I stood there in the silence. You did the right thing, he said again. Doesn't feel like it. It will. He left an hour later. I sat alone in the house, our house, the one we'd made a home. I looked at the wedding photo on the mantel, the two of us smiling, surrounded by family. I took it down, put it in a drawer. Then I called a lawyer. The divorce took 4 months. Kelsey tried to fight it at first, wanted counseling, wanted to work through it. I didn't. Her lawyer tried to argue for alimony. Mine brought up the affair. In Minnesota, adultery doesn't automatically disqualify you from alimony, but it doesn't help, especially when there's photo evidence. We settled. She got her car, her retirement account, and half the savings. I got the house. She moved to Denver, to be closer to Brandon, I assumed. I didn't ask, didn't care. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I got a message on Facebook from Rachel. "Tyler, I'm sorry. I should have told you. I didn't know how." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, "You knew. You went with her. You helped her lie." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "You're right. I'm sorry." I blocked her. A year later, I was doing okay. Not great, but okay. I'd started therapy, started working out, started saying yes to things I'd been putting off. I went on a few dates. Nothing serious, but it felt good to remember I was still a person outside of that marriage. I sold the house. Too many memories. Bought a condo downtown. Smaller, simpler, mine. Richard and I still talked. He'd call every few weeks, check in. "You doing all right?" "Yeah, I'm good." "Good. You need anything?" "I know. I'll call."
He was a good man. Better than I deserved. Better than his daughter deserved, too. I ran into Kelsey once, at a coffee shop. She was with Brandon, laughing, holding hands. She saw me. The laughter stopped. I nodded, kept walking. I didn't feel anger, didn't feel sadness. I felt nothing, and that felt like progress. People ask me sometimes if I regret sending those photos to Richard, if I regret not confronting Kelsey first, giving her a chance to explain. I don't, because here's the thing. She had 4 days to tell me the truth, 4 days to call me from that hotel room and say, "Tyler, I made a mistake. I'm sorry." She didn't. She posted photos. She lied. She came home planning to keep lying. And if I'd confronted her alone, she would have spun it. She would have cried. She would have made me feel like I was overreacting. But with Richard there, she couldn't. She had to face the truth. And so did I. The truth is this. I didn't lose a wife that day. I lost an illusion. The woman I thought I married didn't exist. She was a story I told myself, a version of her I wanted to believe in. The real Kelsey was someone who could lie to my face for 6 months, someone who could plan a trip with another man and post photos to cover her tracks, someone who valued her own happiness more than our marriage. And once I saw that, really saw it, there was no going back. So yeah, I sent those photos to her father before she landed. I didn't wait for her to come home and lie to me. I didn't give her the chance to spin the story. I took control of the narrative, and I don't regret it. Because the alternative was living in a marriage built on lies, and I'd rather be alone than be a fool. If you've ever been there, if you've ever seen something you weren't supposed to see, if you've ever had your gut scream at you that something's wrong, trust it. Don't wait for permission to protect yourself. Don't wait for them to confess, because they won't. They'll lie, they'll cry, they'll make you feel crazy for even asking, but your gut knows. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is listen to it. Hit subscribe if this one hit home. Comment, "I trusted my gut," if you've been there. Because the truth doesn't need permission to be true. It just needs someone brave enough to face it.